Today's lesson, but before that, let us sanitize. Squeeze our hands inside the palm, outside, and in between the fingers. We also stretch out to make sure we've maintained the social distance. All right. Now, today's lesson is going to be on abstract nouns. Right, let us turn to page 3, where it says abstract nouns. I am going to illustrate a few words on the board. Now, what are abstract nouns? An abstract noun refers to something that you cannot see, hear, touch, smell, taste, or measure. It is usually a feeling or an emotion and names a quality or an idea. The words love, respect, jealousy, patience, etc. show feelings and emotions. The words information, belief, etc. show us qualities or ideas. Now, let us look at the words I'm going to write on the board. We have love, we have respect, we have jealousy, we have patience. Right. All these words have something to do with our feelings. Right. We said an abstract noun. You cannot touch, you cannot taste, you cannot see it, or even you cannot hold it. So what it means is the 5 senses that we have do not have anything to do with the abstract nouns. All right. Abstract nouns do not appeal to the 5 senses. It has something to do with feelings. Examples that I've written here are love, respect, jealousy, and patience. So these are intangibles. You can't touch them. You can't touch love. You can't see respect. You can't see jealousy or patience. That's something abstract, something that we cannot touch. Right, let's proceed. Examples. Tangi showed courage when he stood up to the bully from another class. Tangi showed courage when he stood up to the bully from another class. Right, our abstract noun there is courage, which is a feeling. He showed courage. All right. This sentence shows us emotion or feeling displayed by Tangi towards the bully. Tangi was courageous not to let the bully continue bullying others. His courage stopped the bully. So that's the clear explanation or example of an abstract noun, which is courage in this case. Common nouns are like goat, car, boy, etc. because they can be seen or touched. So these are common nouns. Remember last week we talked about the common nouns. On the other hand, words like delight, anger or trouble are abstract. Somebody is delighted. Somebody is angry. So we talk of anger and delight being abstract. They are not tangible. You cannot touch them. You cannot see anger. You cannot feel it. I mean, you cannot taste it. All right. Abstract nouns, delight, anger, or trouble are abstract nouns because you cannot see, touch, smell, or taste them. Abstract nouns do not begin with capital letters unless they begin a sentence. Abstract nouns do not begin with capital letters unless they begin a sentence. There is an example there of an abstract noun, fear. Fear made her sleep under the table. In this sentence, the word fear is an abstract noun which has been used at the beginning of the sentence. So we are saying it is only when an abstract noun begins or starts a sentence, that's when we can put a capital letter. Otherwise, if they come in between somewhere in the middle of the sentence, you can't use a capital letter. Remember, an abstract noun is not only something that you cannot see, as some concrete nouns cannot be seen. We have concrete nouns which cannot be seen, but they are concrete. Let us look at what they are. An example is, a good example is a. It is a concrete noun. A is a concrete noun or a common noun. Although it cannot be seen, A is not an abstract noun. It is not an emotion. It is not a feeling or a quality. This is on page, sorry boys and girls, this is on page 4. Can we turn to page 4? Although it cannot be seen, A is not an abstract noun. It is not an emotion. It is not a feeling or a quality. It is a substance, a mixture of substances, and has mass. It can blow you over, take the roof off a building, or knock down a tree. It is made up of molecules that can be seen, weighed, and measured by scientific means. Right, so that's our A there, being a common noun, not abstract, although we cannot see it. We can form abstract nouns from nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Let us look at the examples. On the same page, I will start reading from the bottom on common nouns. Right, we have common nouns there: brother, leader, and scholar. Now let us look at the abstract nouns. We have brother, brotherhood; leader, leadership; scholar, scholarship. Those are the abstract nouns. Then we move on to adjectives. We have able, abstract noun is ability. We have angry, abstract noun is anger. We have beautiful, abstract noun is beauty. We have brave, abstract noun is bravery. Right. Last but not least is the verb. Let's see the abstract nouns formed from verbs. We have know, abstract noun is knowledge; free, freedom; die, death; and lastly, imagine, imagination is our abstract noun. A few examples of abstract nouns used in sentences are as follows. Number 1, father was delighted at the news of his son's success. Son, success. Success becomes our abstract noun from the word succeed. So father was delighted at the news of his son's success. Success is our abstract noun. Number 2, people have faith in banks, so that is where they keep their money. People have faith in banks, that is where they keep their money. Our abstract noun there is faith. Faith is not something tangible, it is a feeling. The last one is, she has great taste in clothes. She has great taste in clothes. Taste is our abstract noun, which we cannot see, we cannot touch, so taste becomes the abstract noun. Right, boys and girls, let us turn to page 5. We want to look at the activities, something that which we can do using abstract nouns. Activity number 1, use the abstract nouns in the box to complete the sentences. I am only going to give one example and then the rest you do on your own. But before that, let me read the words. We have friendship, ambition, jealousy, attitude, courage, imagination, and goals. Our number 1, it says, the businessman has ambition and works hard to achieve his goals. All right, so you do numbers up to 4 on your own. Let's quickly move on to activity 2. Underline the abstract noun in each of the sentences below. They experienced extreme joy when they helped others in need. They experienced extreme joy when they helped others in need. Joy is our abstract noun because we cannot touch it, we cannot see it. So you underline the rest of the abstract nouns in the sentences. Still on the same page, we have activity 3. Circle the abstract nouns in the box. We have quite a number of abstract nouns there, but they are also mixed with verbs, mixed with adjectives, etc. Just pick on abstract nouns and circle them, like the word love. Okay. If we turn to page 6, the 4th activity, it says, write a sentence with each abstract noun given. Write a sentence with each abstract noun given. For example, there is a bravery. Bravery is our abstract noun that has been given. It takes bravery to stand up for what you believe in. It takes bravery to stand up for what you believe in. All right. So you do the rest from kindness up to truth. Let's quickly move on to page 7. We have activity 5 there. Identify and underline the abstract noun or nouns in each sentence. Identify and underline the abstract noun or nouns in each sentence. Number 1, her disappointment was so intense. Her disappointment was so intense. Our abstract noun there is disappointment. So you'd underline that and then do the rest. The next one, is activity 6, which says, find the abstract nouns by crossing out words which are not abstract nouns. Make sure you take note of the instruction there. Find the abstract nouns by crossing out words which are not abstract nouns. So what you are going to cross out are words which are not abstract nouns and leave the abstract nouns alone. All right? For instance, a word like tree is not an abstract noun, it's a common noun. So those are the words that you cancel out. But words like wisdom, that's an abstract noun, so you don't cancel it out, you leave it out. Okay, boys and girls, let's move on to the next page, which is page 8. It says, write the concrete and abstract nouns from the sentences below. So what it means is those sentences, they have both concrete and abstract. So under concrete, you write the concrete noun, and then abstract, you write the abstract noun. An example has been given. An education cannot be traded for a house. An education cannot be traded for a house. Right. Our concrete noun there is house because it is tangible. You can actually touch it, you can see it. And then we have abstract noun, which is education. Education is our abstract noun, which is intangible and cannot be seen. Right. Analyze the sentences by cycling the concrete nouns and underline the abstract nouns. Right. There are two things that you should do to each of the following sentences. When you read the sentence, you see a concrete noun, you circle it, and then when you see an abstract noun, you underline it. Okay? For example, there was a sadness in her eyes. There was a sadness in her eyes. Sadness is our abstract noun, so we underline it. And then eyes, that's a concrete noun, then we circle it. It's a common noun or concrete noun. We put a circle there. Right, boys and girls? We can continue writing our work. Right, boys and girls. Let us turn to page 9. There is a comprehension passage there. Let's read it through together. And then on the next page, which is page 10, there are some questions which are supposed to be answered by you after reading the comprehension. Make sure you follow through and you understand the passage so that you will be able to answer. Right. Read the passage and answer the questions that follow. Lightning. I'm sure we are all familiar with lightning. Lightning is a bright flash of electricity produced by a thunderstorm. All thunderstorms produce lightning and are dangerous. If you hear sound from thunder, then you are in danger of being struck by lightning. Lightning often leads to death in Namibia and in other places of the world. A bolt of lightning is powerful. It can contain enough volts of electricity to light a medium-sized town. The heat from lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. If you are outdoors, keep an eye on what is happening in the sky. Look for dark skies, flashes of lightning, or increasing winds. If you hear the sound of thunder, go to a safe place immediately. The best place to go is inside a strong building or in a car, but make sure that the windows of the car are closed. Avoid sheds, metal, and trees. If there is nowhere safe to go, crouch down in the open area, keeping twice as far away from a tree as it is tall. Put your feet together and place your hands over your ears to minimize hearing loss. If you are with a group of people, stay about 5 meters from each other. Stay out of water because it conducts electricity. If you are playing an outdoor activity, wait at least 30 minutes after the last observed lightning strike or thunder before doing anything. If someone is struck by lightning, call for help immediately. Right, boys and girls? I expect you to read for the second time, third time, and perhaps you start answering the questions. But make sure you always make reference to your passage as you answer the questions. Don't answer a question which you haven't understood, because all those questions, the answers are derived from the passage. Right. I said the questions are on the next page, on page 10. Right. Thank you very much, boys and girls, for listening. We'll meet in the next lesson, but before I go, don't forget to put on your mask. Don't forget to sanitize. Don't forget to sanitize. Stretch out your hands at least a meter to observe the social distance. Okay, bye-bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Josie and I am Peg. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Hi there parents. Do you have primary school kids and want them to get extra quality supplementary lessons to up their grades? Then simply switch to One Africa TV's #LearnOn1, where your kids can get maths, English and science lessons every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. And thanks to NMH's My Zone, these lessons are 100% Namibian. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Right, self-driving cars aren't a common thing yet, and one of the main reasons is because of concerns about safety. Although saying that, 90% of accidents today are due to human error. But today, one car manufacturer is using data to help make roads a little bit safer whilst humans are still behind the wheel. And they're doing that by using sensors to track dangerous hotspots. This is a proportional integral derivative controller. PID for short. They're more commonly known as black boxes and are being used today for something other than insurance purposes. Yay! Ford are working with Vivacity Labs, using these PIDs in their cars to monitor my driving in order to assess an area's road safety. My speed, acceleration, rate and harshness of braking, steering, all of these are being measured to see how I react along a route and predict any near misses that I have with other vehicles or people. And when enough cars behave erratically in an area, sensors are placed on lampposts to gather more data, which we'll see later. But as a driver right now, I had a bit of a problem with the black box existing. If I want to misbehave slightly or go a little bit faster, I'm just going to be constantly wondering, what is it picking up? Is this going to, bite me in the butt later? I'm not giving them a true reflection of myself as I'm driving. So is that the data they want? Right, we've reached Vivacity's HQ, where the data is being processed. Now, remember those sensors we've passed along the way? Here's a visualization of what the company sees. It's all blurred and anonymized, so no one is identified. But these lines represent the cyclists, pedestrians, and cars in a spot. And you can see how they get into some potentially harmful situations as they cross each other, or as an area gets busier. So they'll take this data and they'll present it to the local council to act on it.
If you sent somebody out to watch what was happening, even for 5 or 6 hours, which would be quite an expensive thing to do, they won't necessarily see the root cause. At this particular scenario, there's 1.5 minutes worth of clips from that 1.5 hour that we've condensed this down to. Actually, that person's time, rather than spending an hour and a half at the roadside, if they watched an hour and a half of condensed clips from a sensor, they'll get a much better understanding of what is the problem at this particular location.
Peter also told me that councils will probably take a while to know how to process this data and execute plans based on it. But it's not the only stumbling block.
Yeah, I think on the project that we've been collaborating with Ford, we actually found it quite difficult to get people to agree to put a PID in their car, even if we paid them. So if we turned around and offered somebody money, they were still going, oh no, I don't want that.
As I mentioned before, I was so aware of being tracked, my driving being measured, so it doesn't surprise me that they struggle to get volunteers, managing only 200 in the whole country. But with more modern cars having modems anyway to connect to the internet, is being tracked actually something I had to be worried about?
The actual act of putting the PID in is obviously not the end solution. That's just for this research project. And all our analysis isn't really looking at the individual, it's looking at the aggregated level data.
So then any other data that it picks up isn't really anything that can be used against the driver, is that right?
Oh, yeah, no, we don't intend to do that. We clearly spelled out in the consent that it's all about this road safety project, trying to find that win-win situation where the city gets something, the consumer gets something, and Ford gets something.
So whether it's the public or councils getting used to the idea, it'll probably take some time before this data starts to make a big difference. But until then, getting more connected seems like a good way of driving forward.